So good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity to speak at this forum on Norway's perspectives on international cooperation in the Arctic. For Norway, the Arctic is a top national priority. It is far more than just a remote and icy place, because 10% of our population live north of the Arctic Circle. Some of our most important and most innovative industrial areas are located in northern Norway. It is therefore of paramount importance to Norway to create jobs in order to sustain and develop our Arctic communities. Ocean industries and tourism in the northern parts of the country are important to our overall economy. Furthermore, we firmly believe it's possible to strike a balance between sustainable development of resources and the protection of the environment. There are cross-border challenges in the north. They can only be solved efficiently by close collaboration with our neighbors. Arctic states have found ways of working together based on common interests and respect for international law. Peace and stability in the Arctic is not a coincidence. It is a result of political choices which have been hard to achieve sometimes, but something we will work hard to maintain. Most of the resources and the activities in the Arctic falls under the sovereignty, national jurisdiction and sovereign rights of one of the 8 Arctic states. In all areas beyond national jurisdiction, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea applies. UNCLOS establishes clarity and predictability as regards duties, rights and jurisdiction in the Arctic for everyone. So, an extensive legal governance framework already applies to the Arctic. Norway welcomes activities within the existing law and structures from all other countries. Unlike many of the regions of the world, there are no territorial disputes in the Arctic, barring the small Hans Island, which is disputed between Canada and Denmark, but hopefully that will be resolved sometime in the future. Norway is not part of the Belt and Road Initiative, nor the much talked about Polar Silk Road framework, but we will look at individual projects based on their economic and sustainable merit. For more than 20 years, the Arctic Council has served as the key international arena for discussions and collaboration on Arctic issues. A robust and effective Arctic Council, firmly supported by member states and observer countries, is a major contribution to continued stability in the Arctic. Over the years, the Arctic Council has been instrumental in developing new knowledge on climate change in the Arctic. One of the reasons for this success is the fact that the Council gathers everyone concerned about life in the Arctic, including indigenous peoples. The Council has facilitated the negotiation of 3 important legally binding agreements between the 8 Arctic states. These agreements on search and rescue, marine oil pollution preparedness and response, and scientific cooperation highlight areas of cross-border cooperation. The working groups in the Arctic Council continue to provide relevant and good scientific reports as a background for our political decisions. Observer countries provide valuable input to the working groups and the Council's work in general. In order for us to address the challenges facing the region, we need the best available scientific knowledge to guide our efforts. Norway welcomes the Arctic Council's increased focus on the Arctic oceans and appreciates the Council's work on marine litter and ocean acidification. The MOU with the Arctic Economic Council and increased attention to sustainable economic development in general and the blue economy in particular is also a welcome development. Ladies and gentlemen, a few words on the recently conducted Arctic Council Ministerial meeting in Rovaniemi that took place earlier this week. I attended the meeting as part of the Norwegian delegation, and as a matter of fact, I come here straight from that meeting. It is true that there were disagreements on issues related to the environment and climate change. However, there was a joint statement issued from the 8 ministers underlying that the practical work of the Council will continue. All 8 members agree that the Council is the primary arena for Arctic discussions. Arctic countries can have different opinions on how to handle certain issues, but all 8 Arctic states agree that the Council is the primary arena where this is going to be discussed. Ladies and gentlemen, Norway has extensive bilateral cooperation with other Arctic and non-Arctic states. Norway's practical day-to-day cooperation with Russia in the Arctic, in areas such as fisheries management, coast guard, search and rescue, and environmental issues, continue to work well despite disagreements on other policy areas. There is increasing regional cooperation between the state of Alaska in the United States and northern Norway on the blue economy. Arctic cooperation between Norwegian and Nordic and European actors occur on many levels. Many Asian countries have taken an active role in the Arctic for many years. Norway values close dialogue with these countries, and just last week we had constructive Arctic consultations with South Korea in Oslo. We need to increase global understanding of the impacts of climate change in the Arctic and the way global emissions are creating the dramatic changes that we are seeing here. The ice is indeed melting in the Arctic, but not because of activities in the Arctic, but because of activities outside the Arctic. There is broad and growing research collaboration between Norway and several Asian countries on polar issues. This is a development that we support from the Norwegian government side. Future climatic and environmental challenges need extensive international research cooperation, strategies to strengthen the sharing of data and infrastructure, and to improve coordination of research activities must be at the core of such efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the end, a single country, or no single country rather, can solve the challenges facing the Arctic by itself. Norway continues to believe in effective multilateral cooperation within the framework of international law, existing structures, and national sovereign rights. That is the solution. Thank you very much for your attention.